Hello everyone, my name is Kate Glaser and I'm here with Dan Kautz from Kautz Buckley. Today we are going to talk about life insurance and it's one of those things. I brought up the word intimidating before in other episodes. Life insurance can be intimidating and something that a lot of people don't take seriously, right?
There's so much so. There's so many people are so many people are so uninsured. I had to get that sentence out right.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
It is the cornerstone. It truly is the cornerstone. When I started in this business, they were like, "Oh, yeah, I got to sell life insurance." It's been so important, and there's many stories about why. But bottom line is this: so many times you sit down with a financial planner and you want to know how much money do I need to save to still have the lifestyle I have when I'm 50. Well, you're 40 now. Are you going to be around when you're 50? How about talking about what's happening now? Do you have any life insurance? And that's part of the process. You asked us that earlier. We talked about the art and the science. One of the science is we need to know all the life insurance you have. So when it comes in, how is it owned? Who owns it? Who's the beneficiary? And then who's making the premiums and all that. But more importantly, why? And how do you get to the dollar amount you need? Because that can get staggering. You get shocked by the price, right? Mm-hmm. So one of the questions you asked me when we were leading up, a little off camera here, was when? Why? When should I get it, right? And I got to tell you, it's right away. As soon as you get married, it's probably the prudent thing to do. Mm-hmm. And the biggest thing is you're protecting your income.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Now, I know you have other jobs too, mm-hmm. and through those other jobs, you may have your employer may offer life insurance, and it may be the gratis $50,000 term policy or 2 or 3 times your salary. But also there may be a policy in there that you can insure your spouse. The reason why I bring that up is because you really want to insure the income stream. So if you're somebody who's making $100,000 worth of income a year, and you were to die and your family no longer gets that income stream in, mm-hmm. how much insurance do you need? Mm-hmm. Usually you want to, there's a couple different formulas, but when you do a plan, which is key, do a financial plan, and we'll be able to tease out how much insurance you might carry through your employer and how much you might carry privately. One, because the one you're carrying against your employer, if you leave the employer and the employer leaves you, so does the policy. Mm-hmm. So you want to make sure that you have a policy that you own privately, so you have it no matter what happens in your life. The dollar amount when you're younger is usually very high because you're protecting your income and you have no real investments yet, and you probably have debt, right? Mm-hmm. So that's where we'll figure out how much you might need, but it might be shocking. It's not uncommon to be carrying $1 million, $1.5 million term policy, even somebody your age.
Wow, and is this something that you pay out monthly, annually? How does that work as well?
Well, you can pick it's called the mode of payment, and you can pick it any way you want, and you can change it. So that really comes down to budgeting at the house. What am I willing to afford? And when you're younger, it might be better to take it out monthly. But insurance companies will tend to charge you a little management fee to take the money out, and the cheapest way is to pay it annually. Okay. But the bottom line is pay it, all right? And the other thing is, if you're so conscious about putting money into your 401k, where you're planning for retirement 30 years down the line, you should probably direct some of that money towards the life insurance premium, for the fact that you just don't know what happens tomorrow. Yes. And there's so many times we have clients come in and tell us tragic stories.
It's so terrible. And life insurance, it really does protect with a lot of different situations. Obviously there's some exceptions, I'm sure, but really it is supporting in all different areas of tragedy, correct?
Oh, huge. When you sit down with an advisor, and let's say you're young and you might be married and you have 1 or 2 children, you're going to be getting a very large policy that more likely, this is not an endorsement nor a recommendation, but most likely you're going to look at something called a term policy, which will give you a very high payout with a very low premium, or a life insurance premium you have to pay, and it might carry for 25 or 30 years. But in the last 3 years of that policy, what you want to make sure is that you have what's called a conversion factor in there, where you can convert $1 million life insurance policy at company XYZ to maybe $150,000 permanent policy at the end of the 30 years at company XYZ. And at that point, you may have had enough money in investments. Life has maybe treated you very well, where you might want to change the beneficiary to the grandkids that now you have that you didn't have before. Or it's going to help you offset taxes, or it's going to be able to go on to a charity that you wanted to move on to.
So this is a very important topic, obviously.
huge.
I mean, it's one of those things that not a lot of people want to talk about or think about, because when they think about tragic scenarios, it's a hard topic.
You're thinking about your own mortality. I mean, nobody wants to come in, hey, tell me what happens when I die, you know?
Yes.
So it's when we do our planning process, not only do we focus on, yes, how much assets you have and what are your goals, but we're definitely going to take a look at life insurance, because no matter where you are in your life, the need for life insurance will probably be there. Like I said, when you're a younger family, it's probably going to protect the income, pay off debt, and make sure the kids can get through college. When you get a little older, the kids moved out of the house, you might not need as much, but there still may be a need because there still may be a little balance on the mortgage, or you took out a second mortgage to get the kids through college or something like that, right? And then later in life, you may be in a tax situation where the life insurance is a tax benefit for you to help you offset estate taxes or what have you. But that all depends on the laws at that time and everything of that nature. But putting together life insurance, it's not a policy, it is a process. And that's what you have to keep in mind. And it's a cornerstone of financial planning.
Yeah, is there a personal story where you wish someone would have had a life insurance policy, or maybe something that they did have life insurance? And
My mom and dad. I mean, earlier we talked about emotion. Money is emotional, and this is I'm the client. Let's use me. I'll never forget it. My dad worked for Nabisco. He had a pension. They had life insurance, but mom and dad decided to cash out the life insurance to get the cash value to take care of some other things that had to be taken care of. Big family, a lot going on, and that was the pot of money that was there that had to be used. But what happened was my father died before my mother, and all we had was my dad's pension. And there was a group from Prudential that came in and said, hey, you should buy life insurance in order for your husband, my father, to get a pension that will be at the highest, but if my father dies, you have the life insurance policy to pay off my mom. That's called Pension Max. That's an old insurance trick, right? And my mom threw him out of the house. Get out of here, right? So my dad's going, what are you doing? Once again, who was running the house, right? Sure. And my father died. They took the highest pension from Nabisco, and all we had was my dad's Social Security. We had no other money coming in. Holy cow. Yeah. You want to talk about a time that's emotional, money's emotional? That we needed, it was a very, very difficult time. And at that point, it was just my mother and I in the house, and my mom was very ill, and I got into this business, and the funny thing about it, she didn't talk to me for 6 months.
Oh, goodness,
She treated me like those guys from Prudential. Get out of the house. Sure. I said, hey, you need me here. I got to stay. So that is one story right there that's true to life that happened right in our house, that we should have had life insurance.
Yeah, and money is not everything, but it does supply a little bit of safety and obviously comfort.
Makes life easier.
Absolutely.
And the one thing before we wrap up, about the life insurance, it's so much easier to get now. It's to pick up the phone. You have a lot of opportunity to go out there and get life insurance at different spots, either at your employer or at AAA, or just get it. Look into it. But I really encourage you, please put a plan together. Understand your need for insurance and the type of insurance you need.
All right, well, thank you for the insightful information. I'm going to go get my policy
done
today or tomorrow.
I encourage you, please.
Thank you again for tuning in. If you have more questions, feel free to reach out to Dan or Jeff.
And if you want to find more information about this, please look us up on our website at KautzBuckleyFinancial.com, or give us a call at the office, 716-276-8480. Kate, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.